Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Boyce, just coming to you with some Masters League Magnificence out of the map Entombed Valley LE. Spying down here in the bottom right-hand corner, we do have wodahS as the red Protoss, and up here in the top right-hand corner, we have TaCizual as the blue Zerg. And I would just like to apologize that not everything that I said was going to happen this week due to my anniversary happened, but that's because I got sick. And then I got sick some more. But now I went to the doctors and I got medicine, so I'm all good. Should be all good. So I'm gonna start making that stuff actually happen now. So hopefully it'll be coming soon. And yeah, that's the story of my last week. Anyway, we do have wodahS going for a Forge Fast expand, almost certainly. I guess this could be a Gateway expand, but knowing Protoss, it's definitely gonna be a Forge Fast expand with him putting a probe here to be just annoying as hell. Annoying as hell. But, to each his own. I would also just like to plug real fast that everybody should go check out the video of Cadoink playing me in Amnesia, because it's us racing through a game that should not be raced through, and it is still scary as hell. Because it's a race, we do a lot of more stupid stuff. Like, we're trying to, sneak around the monsters, and we're just being like, I think I can make it around him. If I sprint, I don't think he'll catch me. I think I can probably box him out. I got it. So we do actually a ton of stupid stuff, and it's pretty hilarious. My video will probably be up later today. It's going to be actually an extended length one because I didn't post part 1. So it's going to be part 1 and part 2. It's going to be like an hour long because that's how long we played for, and it'll be nice and good. We have TaCizual actually getting a 15 hatch down. The probe scouted in the wrong direction, did not quite get to that base in time to plant down pylon, to be really very annoying. And it looks like it's going to be a Nexus first out of wodahS. I'm not sure. That's kind of an interesting decision, especially considering the fact that he hadn't scouted yet. I mean, I guess that if you're in a PvZ, chances are that if you don't get that pylon down, your opponent's going to go hatch first. I can't imagine anybody not doing it, purely because it's so much better for the economy. Like this hatchery would just be starting right now, and this spawning pool would probably be halfway done. And that would be not the best situation for a Zerg player. However, it's definitely far better. We have a giant pull-off there. Not quite sure why every drone tried to kill that probe, considering that never happens ever. It never, ever works. It looks like TaCizual is coming down the ramp with this probe, just preparing to, block off just preparing to block off the probe from doing anything silly. There is the first cannon out from wodahS. This is, of course, the right way to wall this place off. You just ignore the fact that these destructible rocks are here. I don't know why, but I've seen a lot of people do this weird wall off where they wall off here, which I guess it could work, but it just makes it so much harder to get stuff up the ramp. So much harder to get stuff up the ramp. And it looks like we have the Maynard. All these probes a bit confused, but they get sent in the right direction by wodahS. He knows what's up. And there we go. So the Nexus and the hatchery are down. It looks like it's going to be going right into a macro game. We see no gas down for the Zerg player yet, which is kind of interesting. Usually Zergs are getting gas at this point. He might be going for something like what TaCizual used to do, where you would get 40 drones, you just drone, and then you would get gas and you would instantly get a layer up, instantly. And we even see him going for a 3 base. So this is a really macro play. He is not committing anything to any sort of defense. He does not have Zergling speed up. He doesn't have really anything. We have the cybernetics core on the way, along with a second gateway. So wodahS getting ready to put on, I don't know, I would say a bit of pressure, because 2 gateways, usually players actually just hold off on the second gateway, at least until the cybernetics core is done, and they'll go for something like a robo facility instead, or maybe even a Stargate. And it looks like we have the Zealot pushing out to the middle of the map. It will be easy to take over this central watchtower, and we still have just a lot of drones getting pumped out by TaCizual. I think if you see your opponent going for something so macro heavy as 3 hatches, that's definitely the time as a Protoss player to go for the throat and kind of at least try to do some damage, because with Zealots, if they don't have Zergling speed, your Zealots will be able to do just so much damage, especially if you're getting this +1 upgrade. I would in fact be extremely surprised, now that he's getting this +1, to not see him go for some type of +1 timing attack, because it's such an effective attack, because it does so much damage to Zerglings. That allows Zealots to 2-shot instead of 3-shot Zerglings, which makes them insanely cost effective against those little tiny Zergy guys. We have beautiful injects coming down from TaCizual. He's actually doing this quite fantastically. This queen was at like 3 energy before it happened. And this one getting a little bit further behind, but it's perfectly fine. We have a lot of drones being transferred over here to the 3rd, and we have now are up to 4 zealots, and this +1 is just about to finish. When these zealots hit, this +1 will probably be like 4 seconds away from finishing, and that's really the timing you want to hit. And TaCizual is now getting his Roach one, but he's not going to be here to defend against these zealots. And this is 5 zealots. This is a lot of damage that they can do. And if you just start producing a round of drones, which he doesn't have any sort of injects, and there's a phone, but I'm gonna roll with it and hope that somebody picks that up. And I really need to remember to disconnect the phone in this room when I'm about to record. So that's perfectly okay. We have the hatchery going down, and I do not see a way for this hatchery really to stay alive. Because this queen is about to die. These Zerglings are finally getting pulled off the line, but this is still six zealots, and they are getting almost to surround on that queen. The drones sacrificing themselves to go for the queen, and so far we have seen 3 drones taken down. There goes the queen finally. This stalker is in a beautiful position to hold off as many Zerglings as possible, and oh my god, is this hatchery actually going to live? What? The hatchery is going to stay alive. Oh my god, I can't believe that I actually survived through that. That's kind of ridiculous. And at this point, this hatchery is basically completely safe. There's been a round of roach production that will easily be able to hold off any sort of attack until another round of roach production comes out. So the really only annoying loss there was the 1 queen. He didn't even kill that many workers for that many zealots lost. So really, he just killed off a little bit of potential drone production. And he's gotten that hatchery low enough to the point where if he sneaks like 1 DT in there later in the game, he will easily be able to pick it off. However, it does not look like he's going to be going for that tech, as he does have the robotics facility on the way. But this is a lot of gateways. This is going to be quite a strong push. It's going to be a 7-gate push. And 7 gates is very aggressive, and it can do a whole lot of damage. It definitely gets a lot of that production up. We do have this cannon. He got the lonely job of having to take out these destructible rocks, and it looks like we do have a little bit of a push out from TaCizual, but he doesn't have speed on the Zerglings yet. He doesn't have speed on the Roaches yet. This is kind of just not the best situation for a Zerg player to be in, and we do have this giant gateway army coming up, and this is a lot of +1 zealots. And oh my god, they're doing so much damage to these Zerglings. These Zerglings just don't even stand a chance. And with this many sentries, there isn't even really a shot at a run-by. We see mostly Zerglings have already fallen. There's only 5 Roaches. It looks like the run-by is trying to happen. And like 2 Zerglings get in, but those guys will not be able to do any efficient amount of damage. It looks like they're actually just going to sit in the back of the base. It looks like 1 Zergling is going to try to sneak into the mineral line, however, it is definitely not going to be enough, and there it does go down. We have the push from the Protoss player moving out across the center of the map, and this is big. This is a huge push. There are 9 Roaches currently on the way, along with these 6 Spine Crawlers, 3 over here, 3 at the 3rd base. But I think he's definitely going to need to sacrifice something to get through this. I think he should just pull these Roaches away, because with these force fields, this base is now completely cut off from the rest of the world. With this many Stalkers and this many Sentries and this many Zealots, I'm not sure what his chances are, especially considering the hatchery is already so low. And there the hatchery does fall, and there are going to be a lot of drone deaths up and over here. And it looks like the Protoss force is going to get cleaned up, but it did its damage. Getting that 3rd down is extremely important. It's very key to actually maintaining the economy of the Zerg at a low level. And we do have TaCizual probably going to go for another push, but I'm not sure how effective it's going to be, considering the fact that there are already Immortals out along with Stalkers. And Immortals are, of course, basically the sole counter to Roaches. They absolutely wreck Roaches in the face. I think they do 50 damage. I'm not even sure. That is a Stalker. There's the Immortal. They actually do 55 damage with +1, and that is an insane amount of damage. That 3 shots Roaches, and that just... Ugh. So it's a little bit scary. It's definitely a little bit scary. We do have Infestors finally on the way. Does he have that energy boost? He does indeed. There's even +2 attacks on the way, so he has finally started to catch up in upgrades. He has no armor upgrades currently, whereas his opponent is at 1-1, and he definitely should wait for that +2 before going for any sort of attack. And he's actually going for a lot of Zerglings at this point in time. I'm surprised by that, considering the fact that he has no melee upgrades. And it looks like this attack is coming out, but the Protoss force is moving forward, and it will force it off. We do have the Twilight Council on the way, and I would not be surprised to see a charge upgrade come out actually at this point in time. when it comes to fighting against infestors, I think Charge Zealots are a lot better than Blink Stalkers, because Blink Stalkers get rooted into place and then they can never move. Whereas Charge Zealots, when they start to fan out, it takes way more fungal growths to hit a pack of Charge Zealots than it does to hit a group of Blink Stalkers, because Blink Stalkers typically stay in balls like this, whereas as soon as a Zealot gets charged, you'll see them all kind of like charge at different times and charge at a meandering rate. And it's definitely much harder to hit them all. And here we do see a fungal growth going down. That's actually quite a nice fungal growth. Let's see if that chain manages to keep up. So far it's doing quite nicely. The first Immortal goes down. The second one is not quite being targeted yet, which is really good for our Protoss player. Now it is going to get targeted and it is going to get taken out. And this is still a lot of infestors. But at the same time, there's one infestor going down. These infestors are not in the best spot ever. It looks like all of their attacking forces are going to go down, so it's going to take just chain fungals to take out this army. Because 15 roaches are on the way, but they are not quite here yet. And it looks like the Stalker force is just going to be pulling back, which is probably the better choice here. And we do see the Immortal at the center of the field, along with a few Stalkers. And did I just see a Stalker with 14 kills? No, 6. I think I saw one with 4. Man, that's depressing. I thought I was going to see like the most epic Stalker ever. It's like the veteran of 4 wars that has 14 kills. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It looks like we are going to have a flank from TaCizual coming around here, but I don't... This is actually just going to be an attack. Neither of them knows that the other one is attacking their bases currently. And it's really going to be... I think it's going to be up to the Zerg player to pull back and defend, because the Protoss player knows that as soon as this... And there comes the pullback from the Zerg player. I'm actually kind of surprised he is pulling back. I would have expected him to go for some level of attack, especially with his 4th coming up that he probably doesn't know about yet, but he could guess at it. And it looks like with some beautiful fungals, he's going to be able to take out this army. However, these Blink Stalkers being very, very cost effective. Blinking back away from those roaches, an extreme good micro. There is the burrow from a lot of units, and here are the roaches. However, this Blink Stalker micro is still moving around wonderfully, and it looks like these infestors are kind of just sitting in the midfield, which is pretty awkward. It looks like this Stalker force is definitely going to get picked off at this point. However, we have a couple of DTs, and they will be moving into the main base. Does he have any sort of detection? He does not, and the Spire is now coming up. So I could see a big hit onto the Spire by these DTs, and what is going to be their choice? It looks like the one in the natural is just going to be doing as much damage as possible. The one in the main is going to be, again, doing as much damage as possible. A couple Overseers are morphing into ramp, actually 3 Overseers. That is crap ton of Overseers. And it looks like with that burrow, that's going to be a pretty good way for TaCizual to avoid as much damage as possible. We do see the spawning pool getting targeted by this one DT. However, I don't think they'll really be able to take out anything. We have a couple of infestors coming out, which is kind of odd. And actually, are these DTs going to get away perfectly fine? So far, they're doing okay. Well, that's kind of awkward. It looks like an infestor just died right there to that DT, and I'm just kind of surprised that they're not getting, like, I don't know, bum rushed by queens. Because I'm pretty sure a DT actually beats a queen 1-on-1, but if the queen got maximum range first, I think it would be kind of weird. And it looks like we have TaCizual come down here with his infestor hit squad. However, a lot of them went down. He had like 6 or 7 with this group, and it looks like only 4 are remaining. And we do have the DT finally getting taken down in the natural, however, not in the main base. He had plenty of drones still going down to this guy, and he had a certain amount of kills. Let's see how many drones have been. Oh, wow. 31 drones killed to 3 probes. That is a huge hit to the economy of TaCizual. And if we look at the... What the hell? He has 46 drones. He has no drones. No drones at all. We do have 18 drones in production right now. That is a crap ton of drones, along with a greater Spire, which will be able to allow him to get up into that higher tech level, which is always quite nice. And he has managed to retain a fair amount of these infestors. Not really an amazing amount, not a poor amount, but you know, keeping 7 infestors is okay, especially after all that harassment. It looks like we do have Archons on the way for wodahS. And it's really just Shadow backwards. I'm not sure why he named himself wodahS, because I'm pretty sure you can have multiple people name the same thing due to like the BattleNet and battle tag things where you get numbers assigned to you. Maybe you just wanted to be like, I don't know, unique. And that's unique spelled like this. So it's very, very unique. It's really different from everybody else. And it looks like we have the natural, not doing the best on health. However, we have spine crawlers popping up. I'm surprised that a spore crawler hasn't gone down in any of these bases. It looks like he's just going to be depending on overseers for detection, which should be fine. Should be fine. We do have Colossus finally on the way, along with +3 attack, so this is a very highly upgraded army. It really doesn't have any armor upgrades, but it doesn't matter. And if we just look at the supply advantage for our Protoss player, we can kind of see the story of this game so far. He's been absolutely crushing it. And it looks like with this attack, I'm not sure if TaCizual has enough to defend. He's getting 4 more Broodlords along with 4 Roaches, but that's kind of the entirety of his army. He has like 7 Infestors and 8 Broodlords, and that's kind of it. And actually not even 8, like 6 Broodlords. And that is not that many Broodlords to be facing an army of this size of the Protoss force. And it looks like we are going to have some nice bungles being able to pick off an entire group here. However, TaCizual is kind of just in an awkward position. He doesn't have a 4th base anymore. I think he keeps getting sniped every 60 seconds. And wodahS is comfortably on 4 bases. He's getting a lot of economy up, and he's just doing it quite beautifully, along with the range for the Colossus coming down, which will of course do a wonderful job at dealing with these infestors. And I would be surprised to not see him moving up towards a mothership at this point. Motherships are kind of a great way to end the game if you're a Protoss player versus really any race. And it looks like he's actually letting the second forge just kind of take some time off, which is something you shouldn't do, but you know, whatever. He didn't want to get that ground upgrade. Who needs that ground armor? Psh, not all important. And it looks like this army from the Protoss player has taken a little bit of a major hit. However, there's going to be a Zealot hit squad moving up to that 4th base again, trying to deny as much as possible. And this DT is already up here. I could see him going for some serious damage to these infestors. It looks like the fungal does catch him though, and these Zealots are moving up to the 4th base. No, they're just going to check out the 5th and the 6th location, but they do get spotted by these Roaches, so basically all of these guys' lives are going to be for ire at this point. And it looks like wodahS is preparing to do a move out, which is kind of ballsy considering the fact that he just lost quite a bit of food supply up here for free. However, that being said, he is still really in advantage of this game. He's kind of taking the lead and then just rolled with it. We do have a lot of Broodlords up here, but, you know, still, they're not currently backed up by infestors. And it looks like these Blinkstalkers are going to get a beautiful blink under 2, 3 Broodlords going down, maybe even 4. Oh, 4 Broodlords, 5. Wow, these guys just, they cannot take any hits at all. And there is the leave of the game from TaCizual. So, of course, if you guys would like your games commentated, you can send them on into wodahSC2@gmail.com. If you'd like to watch any other games I've commentated or subscribe to my channel, you can head on over to youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2. Thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you next time.